Guys, you see already Bitcoin is moving here back to the upside over the last couple hours, and I think it is time to start deploying money back into the market based on certain indicators and chart patterns that I have found that I'm going to show you right now. Let's go. Hi, welcome back, guys. So sorry for the slight delay that I had. I was stuck on a call. That's why I was running here a little bit late for the stream. But now I'm here. Guys. Let me just pull up the chat really quickly. See what's going on here in a second. Okay, there we go. So we are not wasting any time here. We jump directly into the charts. Guys, we have in 22 minutes the unemployment numbers in the US coming out. And I believe they will actually not have a huge factor in the current Bitcoin price action. And I'm going to explain you here right now why I believe that. So I believe that insiders know already that the unemployment numbers will either be, as forecasted, stay around the 4.2% level, or will come in lower than what everybody is expecting, which would be even more bullish for the market. So either what's forecasted or a little bit lower, and that would then lead to further continuation to the upside for Bitcoin. And I think because of this anticipation here, that many people think that we are actually getting a nothing burger where we just stay where we are with the unemployment numbers, that sparked that rally today to the upside. You also see that the DXY is currently pulling back in the current daily candle, but remember, guys, actually that line went away that I had here previously, because remember we had here one resistance area higher here. So here you see we actually touched it a couple of days ago and got rejected from there. So now I expect again that we are continuing to go into the downside. So, and I think when the unemployment numbers are coming out, that this will actually lead to further downwards pressure on the dollar overall. When we are looking at the Bitcoin chart on the higher time frames, on a 12-hourly chart, there are some people saying, hey, we have here this head and shoulders pattern. We are going lower now. The target is like $85,000, $87,000. Let me debunk this directly here. So that makes absolutely no sense. These people don't know what they're talking about. And let me explain you here really easy why that is. So if you go by textbook and you measure the technical target of a head and shoulders pattern, then you need to understand how you actually measure that. So the measurement goes from the neckline, which is here at the bottom, all the way to the top of the head, which is all the way up here. So here at $108,400, there is the top of the head. Then you take that line and put this to the neckline, and then you get the target to the downside. So this does look here like $87,000, $85,000. No, this is way below that. That will go all the way back to $76,224. There is a super low probability that we actually could go there for a simple reason. We have some imbalanced candles like this one here and also over here that never got filled, and we would also at the same time retest some prior highs that we never retested. So there is a super slim probability that this would can potentially happen. But for this, first we need to break under the $92,500 level and close actually a daily candle below that level, and then get continuation below 87 and 85. And only if we would break 85, I would say, okay, now it looks really like that we go another $8,000 lower to reach the technical target of this head and shoulders pattern and then reverse back to the upside. But right now, I don't see a high probability that this is going to play out. And these people that are calling for $87,000, $85,000, they have no clue what they're talking about. If they say that in the same breath with that is the target of the head and shoulders pattern, because the technical target by definition is all the way down here. So, and now think about it. This is an insane move here to the downside, almost a $20,000 move to the downside. You need a huge catalyst to actually trigger such a sell-off event to reach that, even if it would be a gradual one, So you need a major catalyst that you would actually break all the major support levels that are in between, and therefore I call bullshit that this is going to happen. Now, something else happened that made me tremendously bullish here today, and why I believe that reversal is actually solid is something that I found here on the Bitcoin active addresses 30-day change chart. So, and you see here, we have here the weekly change in blue, and we have here something that I need to explain. These red dots here that we have, or the orange dots, every time when we get an orange dot, the weekly change drops to the downside in the active addresses. So that means the people that are holding Bitcoin, they are selling off their Bitcoin and buying them back later sometimes at a higher price. Sometimes they are getting lucky and actually get a lower price. But what usually happens is when you get here a spike into the -3 area in the active address change, from there, when you look at the price, we usually get a reversal back to the upside every single time. We can go over here where the addresses came down, we spike to the upside. We go over here where the addresses came down, we spike to the upside over here. It doesn't matter where you look. Every time when the addresses, the Bitcoin active addresses have changed and came here into the -3% level, every single time it sparked a rally back to the upside without exception. There is no exception. It happened every single time since June 2022. So, and why should be this time any different than that? So the other reason why we are bouncing back to the upside is, of course, that we were super oversold on the higher time frames. That's why yesterday I told you guys I put my money where my mouth is and started to add more and more to my Bitcoin trades. On ZoomX, I did not change anything because I'm already heavily invested there. But on my Bybit trade, I kept adding to it. And I think the last time I actually added this morning, if I'm not mistaken, I can't remember. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. But I think I did this morning when we were at 92,000 something that I added for a last time to that running trade here. So, and what you should also not forget is that I told you guys that there was a potential that we come down here into that dashed line, but that I would expect that this would be holding, and lo and behold, that is exactly what we saw here unfolding over the last couple of hours. Now we need continuation to the upside to reclaim not only the point of control, but also the EMA ribbon, because here we are flipping currently in a downtrend on the EMA ribbon. We don't want that this actually materialized, but for that we need here the next 12-hourly candle. Most likely will not happen in the current 12-hourly candle, but in the next 12-hourly candle we need a push above the point of control, and then some consolidation and then continuation into higher levels here. The VPVR will then also be completely taken over again by the bulls. Currently it is controlled by the bears. There's no doubt in my mind, but you see here that the indicators are all turning around here back to the upside. We are still oversold on the stochastic. The MACD is turning around with bullish momentum, and the RSI also currently going a little bit sideways, but overall printing here higher lows on the way to the upside. On the MDX algo gradients, also here, what did I tell you guys? I actually posted this also in the Telegram group that I said yesterday when we went here into that green phase. So here, when it became super green, I said in the group, actually I have to move it a little bit over here. I think it was kind of there. So I said in the group, guys, we are close. We either did hit the bottom now already, or we're gonna hit it in the next couple hours. So, and what happened? We hit it, I think, 8 hours later. 8 hours later was here at $91,200 approximately was the level that we touched. from where we bounced back to the upside. So I called it in the Telegram group. Everybody that's in the group has seen it. And also yesterday, if you were here yesterday, you know, guys, I told you when we get here these 2 dot plots on the reactor indicator, that's usually a sign that we are really close to the local bottom and a reversal that we are right now experiencing. And now we're going to see here the candles also slightly warming up again. Nothing crazy yet. And I also don't want to call now for like a move straight away to $100,000 for a simple reason. When you see the MDX algo gradients here, the scalp gradients, turning blue again and running back to the upside, there is still a chance that we are only running into the golden ratio here and we are running back down. So up here in that area, the gradients would be purple, but then running back down and we are putting in here a higher low. And here the candles are again blue-greenish, and only from here it turns around and then we run to the upside. So I want you to be prepared for that scenario, that something like this could be happening if we are not getting straight away some consolidation when we come here above the golden ratio and getting consolidation above the golden ratio. So if we get a 4-hourly close above the weekly open in that move by breaking the golden ratio, then things are changing. Then I don't believe that we're going to get here pullback again back into more or less current levels. Then I would expect that we start consolidating here and then get a push straight away into the $100,000 level. Why? Because the weekly open has huge significance on the chart, and when we are managing to close a 4-hourly candle above that and potentially even a 12-hourly candle, that will turn the market extremely bullish really, really quickly for us. Now, when we are looking here on ZoomX, you see my Bitcoin trade is already here making some profits again. Solana is also looking a little bit better. Again, guys, I'm not hiding here any of my trades. You don't see here also on Ethereum, I have put in actually some more limit orders here. After we were touching $3,200, I put in one lower again just to protect my Ethereum trade from getting liquidated. So when we go to Bitcoin, also here you see I still have my limit order almost. We almost touched it, guys, almost. You know, you see it here. We almost touched it. I'm really, actually sad that I missed it. That would have been so nice to have it. But it's fine. It's fine. You know, so maybe, actually I don't believe that we come back down here, but I'm still going to leave it just for the case, you know, just for the case. If we keep moving higher, I either cancel or I'm going to move it up for the next pullback. Again, guys, if you want to trade with me on ZoomX, there is a link in the description of the video. This is the best place for non-KYC trading. If you cannot use Bybit, go and open a ZoomX account. You still get $45,000 worth of sign-up bonuses there. So now on the liquidation levels, also here, remember, we spoke about this, that the Bitcoin price needs to come back up here quickly again above the 50 moving average, so that we can keep the trajectory of getting here early or mid next week, that golden cross. Of course, if we are managing here in the next 12 hours to come back to $97,000, then the trajectory will most likely immediately adjust to this here, and we get over the weekend that golden cross by Sunday or as late as Monday. But for that, like I said, we need in the next 12 hours actually a move here above the 50 moving average. In terms of the liquidation levels, once we are breaking here into $95,700, $96,400, I expect definitely a short squeeze here above the 50 moving average. The 200 will again act as resistance on the way up, but once some consolidation is done here, then we're gonna trigger the next short squeeze into the $100,000 level, and most likely we're gonna see one more all the way up into the $104,000, $105,000 level. And as I pointed out over the last couple of days, a short squeeze here into 107, 108 to liquidate the last over leveraged short positions here at $107,500 and $108,300 is highly unlikely, because most of that short liquidity has already left their positions, and I believe that the remainder of the positions that are up here will be also already prematurely closed before the price can actually reach these levels here. So on the liquidation heat map, we also go here back to the weekly chart. You see here, why I'm saying here $96,000, $97,000. Here is some concentration right now around $95,780 from where we are going to trigger that short squeeze that I was talking about. That will most likely extend all the way up to $97,500, $700 approximately. Then you're going to get another small pullback for the simple reason that we are gutting really close here to the $98,900 concentrated area here, with still $107.5 million approximately sitting here in short positions. And these will also definitely be taken out, guys, here in the next 3 to 5 days, in my opinion. It can happen faster, but I like to have a little bit higher time horizon here, just in case it takes a little bit longer, so, and I don't want that you guys say later, you said it's happened tomorrow and it happened 3 days later, so if it happens faster, I appreciate it. If not, I can wait 3 to 5 days, so, and as you can see here, once we are breaking above the $100,000 level, and getting here into $101,500 and $103,000, then we trigger a short squeeze a little bit higher from there onwards, and then we have taken out the majority of the upside liquidity. We need then some consolidation before we go higher, which is absolutely fine. And then we're most likely going to get a new all-time high here also rather sooner than later. You had yesterday the chance to take this trade setup that I had given here. Remember, I said you can enter a trade when we break this downward sloping trend line and that horizontal level here at $93,875, or here the downwards trending line at $93,200. That would be my point of entry if I wanted to open a trade here in the short term. So where is here my tool? So let's say you would have entered from here. So there was a scalp opportunity let's say into $95,000. So 1.8985% profit move here. So with a proper stop loss here at this candle. So the risk to reward ratio would have been fine. You would have not gotten stopped out here on that trade setup. And here I would have actually used something like 25x leverage on that trade. So, but if you are currently in that trade, that is not the target that I have in mind. So it's actually not on this chart, it's on this chart here. So here, currently on the 50 minutes chart, look at this. So here's the next trade setup for you guys that you can trade. You see we are consolidating here around that resistance level of $98,850 on the 50 minutes chart currently. And the 50 minutes chart on the stochastic RSI is setting up for a move to the upside right now. Hence why I would here open a small position. And you can see here in terms of return, this is not crazy, 3.6%. But I would risk here to use like 20x leverage, guys, on a trade like that, So because if you get stopped out, okay, you lose roughly 13.5%, so off your position if you get stopped out with that stop loss. But if we are going here to the first target, you make 72%. And I expect actually that we could come as high as $99,644 over the next coming days, and that will lead then to over 100% worth of profit. So the risk to reward ratio is definitely justifiable, and also that trade setup is currently justifiable. If you want a little bit more security and and to be a little bit safer with your entry, you wait until this downward sloping trend line is broken here. But most likely we are going to do this here in the next couple minutes. So now in 4 minutes we have the job numbers coming out. Let's see how this is looking. But if there's not a big drop coming and they're actually as expected, then you're gonna see here a nice move to the upside. So, but right now we don't know. We're gonna keep going here for the next 3 minutes to see what's happening, because if they're not as expected, or they are better or worse, so we could get some volatility where we do something first like this, so, and then you get that move to the upside. As usual with all these news events, where you get into the news event, either a pump or a dump, and then shortly, a couple minutes afterwards, it actually turns around in a different direction. So here you can see my Bitcoin trade from yesterday, entry $93,740 right now, is here up still $3,700 currently. Let's see what's going to happen here in the next 2 minutes. If we actually gonna pump here a little bit higher. So and here you can see every time where I bought, every time when we dropped, I bought more, So where I did not buy was here because I think I was sleeping when that happened. Yeah, I think I was sleeping. That's why I did not buy here. But you see every other single time when we had a major move here to the downside, I kept adding to my position. So now, if I draw here a trend line at this level here at $95,226, then you see there's some resistance. So if now in 2 minutes the drop numbers are in our favor, then I expect that we actually go up here really quickly and break through this and get continuation. So let's actually see here. So the dominance is bouncing back to the upside. Not really surprising with Bitcoin moving here to the upside. Still, even if the dominance would pump here a little bit higher, I expect that the dominance will only put in another lower high here compared to these highs, and from there we'll keep going to the downside. So here in the last 2 minutes, I want to announce here something. Remember, guys, I told you I was preparing something here with Bybit. So let me announce it quick before the job numbers are coming out, and then we're gonna have a look at the job numbers. So if you go right now from today onwards to Bybit and you create an account there, if you don't have an account there, it only applies for people that have not yet an account there. If you open a second account, don't do that. Bybit is gonna ban both accounts, so they're gonna see it, trust me. I have seen it in the past, even with big influencers. Don't try it. But if you don't have a Bybit account right now, go and open an account, and I promise you, next week, I may fund 5 to 10 accounts, each with $500, so that you can trade in this bull market with the altcoin season being just around the corner. I want to make sure that some of you guys that don't have so much money right now actually get some money in their pockets on Bybit that you can trade with. But I also want to mention, guys, the $500 will be not withdrawable. So that is the deal that I made with Bybit. I have to send Bybit the $500, but they're gonna credit it into your account that in a way that you can only trade with it. You cannot withdraw it. You can withdraw all the profits out of the trade, but not the initial money that will be funded into the account. So that was the deal that I made, because otherwise there will be some people, they just gonna take the money and run with it, so that defeats the purpose, So I want that you actually go and trade with the money that I give you guys out of my own pocket to Bybit, So I just want to make sure that you actually trade with it and not run off with the money and say, thank you, Alex, So that's not what I want. So here, let's see what the job numbers are saying. So there is a link in the description if you want to do that, and then next week I'm gonna randomly pick some winners from an Excel sheet again for that. 4.1, better than expected for us. So let's see what Bitcoin is doing. Oh no, that's worse for us. So we are dumping here right now. So let's see. A higher unemployment number would have been better for us. So now we are selling off here. How quick was that? Oh wow, that was quick. There was a 2% move to the downside. It's fine. For me, it's fine. Let's see here. A couple of minutes. Let's actually go back to the 15 minutes chart. Where's the 15 minutes chart? So here. Oh wow, that looked ugly. Rejection. So that's why you wait for these trend lines to be broken. These downward sloping trend lines. That's why you wait for that. So let's see here what's happening on the 1 minute chart. Let's see here. Let's see. There we are bouncing already back to, wait, this is the 1 minute chart. Doesn't really say anything. Let's see a 5 minute chart. How is this looking? Let's see how we are looking on a 5 minute chart. Come, give me the stochastic RSI to get a better idea. Okay, that might turn around in the next maybe 15 minutes. potentially 15 minutes, 10. Yeah, 10 to 12 minutes. Oh, there we are climbing back. So it was just, again, the initial shock, you know, so where everybody is holding their breath, and now we are retracing already. So it's not that bad, you know, so it's not that bad. It's just the initial panic, you know, so of everybody. It's 0.1% less than it was before, you know, 0.1%, and everybody was crazy. So, but you see also the 1 minute chart is turning around. I think this was technically a nothing burger, and you see here things turning around here in a short time frame. We'll just turn around here again. So I'm not scared about this, you know, so I think there's nothing to be worried about. So let's move on here. Let's have a look at the total free. Total free is today bouncing here back into that support block that we almost lost yesterday. So we are back in that support block. Remember, guys, the trajectory is clear, where we are getting now some consolidation, and then we get here expansion into the resistance block currently up here. Once that is broken, we get a new all-time high on total free. This again will play out here into end of January, early February, where we actually put in that new all-time high here into the total free market cap. Ethereum now saw also here a small drop back to the downside because Bitcoin dropped, obviously. Here, the 4-hourly chart, you see what I meant yesterday when I said I did not like how things looking here on the Ethereum chart. Now you see why, you know, so here we were basically setting up to get continuation to the downside, at least back here to $3,200. We're only 2%, a little bit less than 2% away from that level. So it would be not crazy if we run here one more time down and then start forming something like a W pattern, you know. So here, that could be the first side of the W pattern actually, you know, so where we get now the second leg, and then we go back to the upside. So that makes also a lot of sense from how the indicators are positioned to do something like that. So maybe set some limit orders here, again, around $3,200 and all the way down to $3,150, just in case that we put in here a lower low compared to that low from yesterday. But in the overall macro structure, it's still not a lower low, you know. So even if we come lower than this one here, because here is our lower low currently. Now on upside targets, the first target where I would take some chips off the table, if we reverse from here, would be $3,500. The golden ratio, you know, you see here overall why that level is so important. And something else that I want to point out here, guys, you see here how we came up here into $3,700 and got that massive sell-off here to the downside. Also, again, also when we come back up here in the next coming weeks, remember how strong that resistance is here. So take money off the table, guys, you know, when we are starting to move back to the upside. So I, again, want to have a look here quick on what Bitcoin is actually doing. I'm going to do it through my phone because I don't want to switch now all the time through charts. It messes around later with other things. So we are fine, you know. So from what I'm seeing here, $93,500, $600 is fine for me, you know. So let it settle, guys. Let it settle. Don't panic, you know. So we're gonna have now a look at some altcoins. Let's see how they reacted. So Solana, also nothing crazy, you know. Remember, guys, we spoke just yesterday about this. I said we could run all the way down here into $180. We came close to it yesterday. Now we are around $187, $190. I think we were today. Yeah, we were at $193 actually today. We do I need to adjust this yet? No. So currently we are falling out of that symmetrical triangle or that pennant that we had here. It was not surprising for me to see that we came back down into this because we were not in the breakout window when that happened, you know. So the breakout window would have been somewhere here for that triangle, and we prematurely broke out, ran into the downward sloping resistance line, got rejected, came now back down. Not a huge surprise to me. So now in terms of how low that can go, On the 12-hourly chart, not much lower. Like I said, $180 most likely, and from there you're going to get the net reversal back to the upside, so set your limit orders accordingly. Then Aptos was looking good earlier before Bitcoin dropped here a little bit to the downside. As long as the golden ratio is holding with the next 4-hourly candle close, so which is in basically in 2.5 hours, if we are still above or in the golden ratio, I would take the risk and open here a position, a small position. Not, again, guys, right now, when you open positions, you need to scale into these positions. You don't go and immediately put all the money into the trade that you want to execute. You take 10%, 20% of the money that you allocate for the trade, and then you keep adding to that. So if we go lower, you keep adding. If we go to the upside, also you keep adding every time when we break a crucial resistance level. That's how you trade currently, just to make sure that if you enter right now with everything, as an example, that you don't get liquidated, so because if you enter, let's say right now here with 100%, let be with $500. You enter here with $500 on a 10x leverage trade. Now it goes 11% down, your $500 are gone. But if you do it with $50, $70, so, and you have still over $400 on the side, while we go lower, so now you are not looking at a 10% stop loss overall, you maybe look at a 30% stop loss. So, and that is, of course, much more sustainable and more profitable than trying to push directly with all the money that you have. So in terms of upside targets, if we see from here that reversal, also here you can see that we potentially form then a W formation. The first target would be here all the way up at $10.95, where I would take some money off the table. If we break that neckline here, if we start reversing from here right now, then the next target is roughly at $13 afterwards. So, but for, like I said, first, Bitcoin needs to play nice, and we need to hold the golden ratio for Aptos. The next one is AVAX. AVAX is retesting right now to $36 mark. I would not enter from there, actually. Let me see on a daily time frame how this is looking. But we also might not go much lower than from where we are right now, because here the daily is already turning around. So let's see here. So look at this. So as long as price stays above that trend line, on spot I would buy without any doubt, but I would wait here currently. So for AVAX, I would definitely wait a little bit to see if we can regain some of the profits that the candle made today here, because there was almost a 10% move over the whole day that we now completely retraced. So at least like 4 or 5% back to the upside, then I would consider opening this. If you want to play it really safe, you wait for this downward sloping trend line to be broken. That we also tested here today and got now a huge rejection candle overall. Then Telegram, as long as we are holding here that green block, Telegram is fine, a ton. You see also here we start to flatline on the stochastic RSI. The RSI is also oversold. Here is a bounce coming. That bounce is most likely getting us first to $5.55 and then to $5.81 approximately. So here I would start laddering into a position from current levels already. So if we get here into that that green area here all the way down to $4.88, I would laddering into a ton trade, because somewhere here in that region you're gonna get a turnaround into these higher levels. Then Sui right now rejected from the golden ratio. I was actually hoping that we break through this in the next coming hours. Bitcoin spoiled the party, but that's fine. Yesterday, you had the opportunity to enter from here. I told you that here was a level $4.66 from where I would have entered. That would have given you a 10% return if you would have closed here within the golden ratio. At current price levels, you would still look at 5%. If you're currently in a Sui trade, I would not close that trade because you see here also that we are starting to push back a little bit back to the upside. But on the indicator side, it looks bearish on the 4-hourly chart, not gonna lie. You know, here a sell signal on the stochastic, RSI pointing down, MACD turning around, start looking like a fake out here on the MACD, what we see here. So we could see another move all the way down to like $4.73. That might be the next level that Sui is targeting, and from there you're gonna get then a proper bounce and the real run into the golden ratio and past the golden ratio. Rune surprisingly massive sell-off here since yesterday. Sorry, not since yesterday, but here on the 1-hourly chart. Look at this here. That's what I mean. So look at this here, how this came down over the last couple of days. Insane. I have actually in Rune not seen something like this for a really long time, and I'm actually surprised when I look at this, especially on yesterday's candle that came down here. But also here we are definitely massively oversold. This here today on Rune, this might be the bottoming candle. So if this candle is closing the way that it looks right now, like here a doji candle, that is the bottoming candle. So you're gonna get confirmation by tomorrow with another candle moving back here closer to $3.75, $3.80, $3.90. That will be your confirmation when you get here a green reversal candle and putting in here a morning star pattern reversal, because the indicators are definitely signaling us that Rune is now super oversold. Nobody wants to trade Rune right now because it looks like a shit coin, and that's usually the best moment to get into a coin like that. Then Link is still in that falling wedge pattern. Nothing has changed here. The best point for a breakout is coming up, and that would be here. I see latest by Wednesday next week we are starting to break out of this here. So also here that current candle could form a bottoming candle, but we need a wick first a little bit lower here again to like $19.22, and then come back up and close the candle as it is, you know. So then tomorrow you get also a pump candle to the upside, because here the indicators also starting to turn around. Stochastic turns around, RSI turns around, MACD turns around slightly, everything showing us that also here momentum is returning back to the upside slowly. Then Beam was also looking good here today with the candle that it put in. Now not looking so good anymore, but also here you see we are starting to flatline on stochastic RSI by putting tomorrow in a buy signal. The RSI going up, the MACD is still a little bit bearish, and that is also due to the fact that we got now here massive rejection because of Bitcoin. So when this is turning around in the next coming hours, that might change. So also here, every time when we come close to this green order block here, that massive buy order block, I would consider laddering into a position here on Beam. The next one is Render. Render got close to the $7.91 resistance level, but only close, did not even touch it, got rejected. We are also back here in that big buy cluster. Again, good level to accumulate or to open a position here, because also here you see RSI going up, stochastic turning around, MACD still bullish, so good levels to accumulate. And here we are most likely also getting by the end of next week at some point that breakout above that downward sloping trend line. And the first target for me would be here close to that $10 mark here, the 1.618, that big sell cluster that we see up here. Guys, I want to mention it again. If you need money to trade between from today onwards, only from today, everybody that signs up with my link on Bybit, not everybody, but 5 people out of all people that are signing up, 5 to 10 people will get funded by me next week, $500 each in their trading account, so that you can trade with that money. But you cannot withdraw it, guys. I mentioned it again, you cannot withdraw it, you can only trade with it, but the profits belong all to you. You can withdraw them and do whatever you want with them, you know. So make sure that you get a Bybit account, guys. And I almost forgot to mention, and if you deposit additionally $100, you can also claim the $500 airdrop position. Let me have a quick look here into the chat before I'm running away again. Let's see here. I'm gonna have here a quick look again on Bitcoin. Where is here? So Bitcoin is actually moving back to the upside right now. Slightly. Here on the 50 minutes chart, you see we get now here a buy signal, So most likely we're going to retrace that whole move here pretty soon. Let's see on a 1 hourly chart. Let's wait how this is going to play out. We have here 12 minutes. So yeah, Bitcoin is definitely holding up better than I also expected. I was also thinking that Bitcoin is not holding up that well when we go down here. So it's definitely holding up better than expected. So let's have a look here. So I just talked about Rune. Let's see. Let's have a quick look at Say. But I will be honest, guys, I will only look here at 1 or 2 coins because they all look more or less like shit right now, you know, so because of Bitcoin. So once Bitcoin turns around, it makes sense to look at coins again, but only then. So look at this here. Stochastic by tomorrow. So tomorrow's daily close will mark a buy signal on Stochastic. The RSI already turning around. We have here actually bullish divergence also across most of the altcoins on the daily chart, because look here, higher lows, lower lows, bullish divergence. So, and the bullish divergence has not played out yet, guys. You know, has not played out on most of these altcoins. So, and that is also a signal for you that the bottom is close for altcoins where they start to turn around and push back to the upside. And especially when you get something like this on a daily chart. So we are 1 to 4 days away, in my opinion, to get that move, you know, so it doesn't take a long time for this to play out. The only way that this is not going to play out is if we break here on the RSI below that upward sloping trend line and keep going lower on the RSI. Then you're gonna invalidate that bullish divergence. So let's see here, Ondo. Let's see, Ondo. So Ondo, so that falling wedge is not accurate anymore. This is more like a horrible downward sloping channel here. Really not looking good. So, but when you have a channel going down in such a steep angle with such an incline, then usually you get a volatile breakout to the upside. So I would be not surprised if Ondo by Sunday, Monday makes a move straight into this sell order block here at $1.74 to like $1.56 approximately. So that will be a massive move from current prices if you would enter here 26% almost and almost 40% here, and afterwards all the way up here closer to $2 level would be roughly 57%. If you would enter here. So for a spot position, it might be actually not the worst moment to get into Ondo here. On leverage, you could get potentially on the shorter time frames a lower entry. Yeah. So here, I just saw it on the 4 hourly chart. So there we could come all the way down to like $1.13. Or even with a wick into that order block here, that big buy cluster at $1.05. But if we, so it might be that we just get close to it, or we just tag it, and then it comes straight back up. So if I would be looking at an Ondo position, I would laddering down. I would start laddering down. I would enter here at like $1.20, you know, and then I would start laddering this all the way down to the top of that green zone. So, and then wherever I get filled, it's fine, you know, and then I run it to the upside. Guys, I have to run here. We are 43 minutes already here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget, smash up the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and I hope to see you with less losses tomorrow.